Hello everyone, this is Gitsu Ronin aka Sir Rob once again with more Arena Assault. This first team has Legendary Chrom. Big surprise, it's water season, there's going to be lots of Legendary Chroms everywhere. And there's another New Year's Peony and Dimitri and Duo Ephraim, so lots of fun all around. So my first idea is to just have Fjorm tank and kill this Legendary Chrom. I have stacked her attack really high so that she can one-shot Legendary Chrom. And that was my solution for last week because I was having a lot of trouble getting the first match done. But this Chrom has rally speed, not to change fate, and so he does not reposition Duo Ephraim, and so he does not get into Fjorm's range. It's as if this player saw what I was doing and decided to counter that. Or they were just trying to make their team a little easier to deal with, I don't know. In any case, I do try to retreat here. Unfortunately, because Peony has her orders effect, Dimitri does get into range, but he does not double Raven, which is fantastic. But following up is going to be a little difficult. Dimitri, Ephraim, and Chrom are all right there. So Dimitri does a little more damage than I'd like him to, because ideally I would be able to get Gale Force off using Fjorm's infantry rush effect.
I'll comply.
I don't think he's able to get the infantry rush against Legendary Chrom because his attack is stacked up incredibly high because of New Year Peony's effect. So eventually what I decide to do is have Raven retreat, and it was not my intention, but that actually ends up working out really well, because that will lower Legendary Dimitri's attack, which will allow him to double Duo Ephraim. But at the moment, my thought was just to have Fjorm kill Dimitri and then Dimitri kill Duo Ephraim, and then I just hope for the best and hope Duo Peony doesn't refresh Chrom. But I do see that Dimitri does get the double on Ephraim at this point, and so he's able to charge Gale Force. Fjorm is able to take Dimitri out now because I believe attack defense bond is being put into play there. Dimitri's able to take Chrom out, and then Peony isn't really an issue. Just because Legendary Dimitri is such a great unit.
Yeah.
So that is the first match. And so I go back and adjust my skill sets. I did a lot of grinding to get everyone's supports back to S because I did change around my team setups a lot to incorporate Dagger on my AR late season. And my AR matches last week went pretty well. I was able to make a setup where Dagger is being supported by Veloria and 2 infantry pulses. So both she and Veloria have they're able to get Gale Force off in one attack, and that's incredibly useful. And for the most part, I was able to sweep most of the enemy teams with Gale Force, and I do have an advantage because it's 6 versus 6 now. I imagine it's going to be a lot more difficult when we get the Dark Mythic with the ability to bring a 7th unit on defense. Because Astra season right now is pretty bad with Zeros and the ability for defense teams to pretty much start at turn 1.
Trickery, eh?
This way?
And I have a very hard time countering that. So this team Again, it's similar to last week. Legendary Zero, Legendary Chrom. I use this team, bait Legendary Zero with Jacob, and then I follow up with Merrick.
Indeed.
And I have to try to be a little bit careful here because I don't want Legendary Chrom to be on the defense tile. And if I go on the defense tile myself, I will be in range of that duo Byleth. And Merrick would die super hard against Byleth. So I just sort of go in the middle there. Unfortunately, I don't think Merrick is able to kill this Legendary Chrom. I need to find a way to get his attack a bit higher. But it doesn't matter in this case, no one's running Wings of Mercy.
I understand.
And the rest of the match, I sort of just try to get a good foothold and
Trickery A.
snipe duo Byleth.
On my blade.
Ryoma has a Fire Sweep sword, so he's able to attack Dimitri safely. Unfortunately, there's not really a good opportunity to do so at the
On my
moment.
blade. Indeed.
This way?
So I was talking about how I was pulling on Dagger's banner
Indeed.
last week, and I pulled 2 Freyas, and so I decided not to use her for Aether Raids, and instead use her fodder.
Round we go.
And I decided to give Pulse Smoke to my Oscar, who I use as a Gale Forcer on Astra Season. And I know it's the popular move to give Pulse Smoke to a tank, because that can really disrupt the enemy's infantry pulse strategy. But people are a lot more aggressive with their defenses these days. Most of them run cavalry units. And so you're not really going to get an opportunity to get close to the enemy and actually make Pulse Smoke useful. At least for me. I know some people are able to get it done, but I'm more comfortable tanking from the back lines. And if I need to be aggressive, I use Gale Force. But
Round we
the
go.
Pulse Smoke is decently useful in Oscar's case because he is on a team with Tethys. And Tethys is running Tamari, and she has defense ploy. And so none of the smoke skills would be particularly useful for
On my blade.
Oscar, at least the
Pleasure.
stat reducing ones. And Pulse Smoke is useful against New Year's Alphons and teams that run infantry
Round we
pulse.
go. Understood.
Because
I understand.
when I'm doing Gale Force, sometimes it doesn't always go 100% perfectly. And so if the enemy team is running infantry pulse, I might have to tank a hit or two, and that won't happen if the enemy's specialist charged. So I'm able to get a hit here on Legendary Dimitri. Merrick is able to survive him.
This way?
Unfortunately, this Byleth never really gets into a position where I can snipe her.
Indeed.
That would have made the match a lot easier.
I understand.
So, after making all of the changes to my Aether Raids teams, because my Astra teams were also affected by me including Dagger, because I just had to shift a lot of units around. I did have a hard time today on my 2 matches. I took 2 matches where I lost 1 unit each,
I understand.
and it's so hard to compete in the vault, and even outside of the vault, it's difficult. So this team, the biggest threat in my opinion was the duo Micaiah, so I wanted to choose something that could take her out pretty easily, and so that's why I chose this team. It ended up not really being the best team to use here, just because that Legendary Leaf never really gets in front of Legendary Dimitri or Ninja Hannah.
Let's hear it.
And that makes things difficult because I can't really attack safely with him there.
What would he do?
And Brave Claude, while he's really strong, he is not strong enough to take out this Legendary Dimitri or the Leaf in one hit.
Far.
Let's hear it.
Indeed.
Let's go. Thumbs up.
And the defense tiles certainly don't help
On
things.
it.
Very well.
What would he
So I
do?
consider attacking Dimitri with Minerva, although
Very well.
Minerva's not really in a position where she can reach him easily. I also consider having Minerva attack the Legendary Leaf,
It'll be done.
and that could have worked, honestly. I probably could have gotten her to safety, but I decided to just use the Lightning Charm here, just because it would have simplified things a lot. And I was getting cornered.
At the ready.
And yeah, Ninja Hannah's the only unit left after this, so
On it.
I
Indeed.
was checking for Odd or even Tempest, because you have to do that now.
Let's go.
You never know what these units are running.
Very well.
At the ready.
And we have another Legendary Zura, this time with Dagger. Dagger's a bonus unit, so she's going to be pretty frequent. And I did already do my arena run today, and that was pretty difficult. There was a lot of maps with breakable blocks that really hampered the enemy movement and sort of made them a little more unpredictable. I did eventually get it done though. I have my own dagger that I used, and honestly, she scored really well. I didn't really have to fish too much.
You have my word. Together, stay close. The enemy.
So I have Legendary Lyn, or sorry, Brave Lyn,
Yes.
try to attack this Azura.
The enemy.
I was hoping I would be able to get her to attack her on the player phase on turn 1 here, but there wasn't really a way I could do that safely. I sort of
Got it.
was thinking I could.
I'll do
I think if I had Ingrid
orders.
where Ira was, then I probably could have
The
gotten
enemy.
Bravelyn to safety.
Got it.
But it doesn't really matter. Bravelyn was able to just tank Legendary Zura. And Bravelyn actually does pretty well in this match. I wasn't expecting her to, just because
Well,
usually she does 0 times 2 damage,
together.
just because she's,
What's next?
well,
Stay close.
the game has
You
been
have my word.
power creeping itself so much. And these are armored units.
I'll do my best.
Ingrid is she's a little disappointing here. I was expecting her to do more damage, particularly because she's able to use true damage due to her perf.
Yes.
So I end up attacking this Edelgard here. Or,
The
yeah.
enemy.
I am a little worried about this dagger because I know Pathfinder can screw things up a bit. Thankfully this dagger's hanging around in the back,
What's
so
next?
she's not really affecting things much.
The enemy. Got it. Yes. Well. What's next?
So I did
I'll
play
do my best.
the Forging Bonds today, I didn't play it all the way through, just enough to get the tickets.
I'll do my best.
And with the tickets, I got
You have my
Dorcas, which is great. He has infantry pulse, which
swiftly.
it's quite useful, but I don't really have any reason to sacrifice him at the moment. I'm sure I will at some point, though, just because it's such a good skill, and it saves me grails.
Stay close.
But as for the Forging Bonds itself, it was okay.
What's next?
I did finish Urk's little story,
Ready when you
and I was a little disappointed. I was expecting him to interact with Sarah more.
Orders.
And I also played the main story, and that was
Stay close.
alright as well.
Swiftly.
I honestly wasn't expecting a tree to be, I guess that would get into spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything. But I wasn't expecting that.
Ready when you are.
And so this Hector, taking him out is pretty easy just because he is an armored unit. He doesn't have armored stride, so
I'll do my best.
I can just hit and run.
What's next?
And then Azura is able to take him out. Alright, next up is Surprise Legendary Chrom. With his friend Legendary Dimitri, and then there's Dagger and Duo Micaiah. This Duo Micaiah is pretty darn scary because of Pathfinder. And so I sort of wish I had more archers during this season combination, because I do end up having to rely on them a lot. I bring this team because Legendary Chrom is an archer, and then there's Bowie, who's able to serve as a Legendary Chrom counter. Unfortunately, my Legendary Chrom isn't as good as everyone else's, because mine is not really invested that much. I pulled this Legendary Chrom when I was merging up my Legendary Dimitri, who I had about 1,700 orbs saved up for at the time. And that banner was really good because Chrom and Dimitri were a shared focus. I didn't have any of them, so I decided I would just go really hard on that banner and use whoever I got the most merges for. And luckily I was able to get Legendary Dimitri to +10 just all at once. So I was expecting Bowie to bait and kill Legendary Chrom here. Unfortunately, because this Legendary Dimitri has Odd Tempest, he gets a little bit too much out of range for Chrom to use to change fate. So now I'm sort of stuck with Chrom being in the middle here, and I have to worry about everyone because I wasn't able to bait or kill anyone.
Of course.
So Celica's not able to kill Dagger. No one's able to kill Legendary Dimitri.
All right.
I do try to take out this Duo Micaiah
Let's go.
just so I can take someone out, because things are really bad at this point.
Oh?
Your plan.
Because of Dagger's Pathfinder, Legendary Chrom's range is extended, and that complicates things a lot. Thankfully, this Dagger is a little bit far away from Legendary Chrom so that he's not going to use to change fate at any point. If I did not take out the
Let's go.
Duo Micaiah, it's possible that she could have rallied in place, and then Legendary Chrom could have repositioned her and then killed someone. But this is sort of bad. I'm trying to think of whether I can retreat for a turn. But even if I did that, it wouldn't really accomplish much. It would just make the enemy close in closer to me. And these defense tiles are also kind of annoying. It's unfortunate that Dagger's on one.
Of course.
So my Celica is set up as sort of a cleric. She has Ardent Sacrifice, and that just helps her get her HP lower so she can activate her Brazen effect and her Perfs effect. And once that happens, she's pretty darn good. And I do end up using an item here. I use a Fear Charm. I'm hoping I can take this Dimitri out with Bowie and Celica, because now this Dimitri can't counterattack. But I'm not confident enough that Bowie and Celica can kill Legendary Dimitri, and I need to refresh Chrom here, because otherwise he is gonna get killed by Dagger. So I end up using the Nagastier here, and I sort of forgot about Atrocity. That's Legendary Dimitri's B skill, and I believe it's that's sort of undoing Bowie's charged special. So that was pretty bad. I should have attacked Dimitri with Celica and then used the Nagastier. Or have Chrom retreat first.
Of course.
But Bowie ends up getting the kill, so that was quite a relief.
Your plan.
And so Chrom is sort of cornered here. And it takes me a bit to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do. Thankfully, Chrom is a really good unit because he does have to change fate, and so I am able to get out of that corner safely. Unfortunately, there's only 3 tiles that I can go to, and I have 4 units, and I can't take advantage of that breakable block at the top because it requires 2 hits to break it. But then I realize, hey, I brought Bowie so he can counter Legendary Chrom, and so I'm able to just plop him in range of him, and
Your plan.
Bowie does quite well, especially since his bonfire is charged up. And this Chrom
Let's go.
is interestingly running close counter, so
All right.
he doesn't have the additional attack or speed or defense that he might get otherwise. So Chrom is taken out. And since Celica has a lower HP now, she's getting all of her effects.
Let's go. Oh?
I do use Ardent Sacrifice there just for the extra insurance.
Time to shine. Of course.
You have
I don't
my all.
quite attack Dagger here just because I can't really get into a good position there.
Oh?
But yeah, Celica's able to take out Dagger. And Dagger doesn't have any damage reduction effects, so 46 means 46, which is a rarity these days. This team has no dancers, no legendary Chroms, so it's not too much of an issue. Green Olwen is the MVP here. She does exceptionally well against the Dimitris, and she is even able to get the kill on Threst here.
By your side.
And I decided to go for Thursia first, just because she is ranged, and so it'll just make things easier to get around.
I understand.
And this Dimitri is not running on Tempest, and the other one isn't either, so
Did you call for me? Just you watch.
I read from the data mine that we are getting a double Special Heroes banner soon, and that Pirate Tabarn will be on it. And Tabarn is one of
I
my,
understand.
well, he's one of the units I wanted added the most in the game. And then he got added, and I was really happy. And I never ever pulled him. And that's just because I've been focusing on legendaries and mythics. And so I probably won't pull for Tabarn here. If I get multiple colorless stones on the first circle, I'll probably pull all of them. But otherwise, I would like to save my orbs for the legendary banner at the end of the month, because Air is sharing colors with Duma, and I have Duma. Duma's unmerged, so it would be quite useful. It would save me orbs to pull for both of them. And this last team is just fantastic. I love this team. Legendary Chrom, Duo Lin, Dancer, and this person, the Actuarist. I remember them distinctly because I had to fight their team in Aether Raids when I had no ladders left, and they had all the whaled out, super power creeped units, and needless to say I lost that and I was kicked out of the vault. And so I'm very bitter about this person. And here they are on the last round of Arena Assault. It's like they're trying to actively make my life miserable. And I know that's not the case, but that's just what it feels like. And so I bring the best unit in the game, Picnic Leo. And unfortunately, I was considering using my Dancer Inigo because he has Deflect Missile, which would have been good against the Ninja Lin, but he just wasn't available this season. But this Picnic Leo, he has a Steady Stance, Triangle Addict, Grand Raven, and he is supported by 3 units with Ward Cavalry. So, I have to think carefully about my positioning here. None of the defense tiles are safe, unfortunately, because Ryoma would be able to get in range with support from Mirabilis. And then Legendary Chrom could also get into range of both of the defense tiles as well, just because he could use to change fate on Legendary Ryoma after he moves. It's just awful all around, so I just try to tank this Ninja Lin without the support of the defense tiles in probably the one space that I can do that. And thankfully that water tile is there, because that means that Legendary Chrom is not able to access that tile.
Let the picnic begin.
I also have to be careful about the positioning of the support units, because if I overextend, then they're going to be taken out by Legendary Chrom. Thankfully, I don't think anyone's running a Sabotage skill, because if Sabotage defense was on this team,
Yeah?
I don't think this Leo would have survived.
Understood.
Yes?
But as you'll see, this Legendary Lin, this Ninja Lin does 0 times 4 damage, and because Leo has really crappy attack, Ruptured Sky does hardly any damage either. Then Leo's able to fire back a Luna and get the kill. But I still have to worry about this Legendary Chrom. And it's really annoying because I, again, cannot take advantage of that defense style because Ryoma is going to rally Chrom. Mirabilis is going to refresh Ryoma, and then Ryoma is going to be able to get in range of that defense tile. And I don't think I can... Yeah, I can't even get into a position where Reinhardt can reach Legendary Ryoma here, so that's a moot point. So...
Count for me.
I get worried here because I really do not want Chrom on that defense tile, because then Leo isn't going to be able to kill him. But if I try to attack Chrom from the tile above, then he's not going to be getting his full ward cavalry buffs. And this Chrom, I'm very lucky because he does not have Time's Pulse as far as I'm aware. And because he does not have Time's Pulse, he's not going to be able to
Let the picnic begin.
activate Deadeye in one round.
Orders.
Let me aid you.
Because if he was able to do that, I don't think this Picnic Leo would have survived. But Picnic Leo does end up surviving. And he is not able to get the kill. Even with the charged Luna, even with Triangle Adept. But thankfully, because the Mirabilis already moved, because she refreshed Ryoma, because Ryoma rallied Chrom, it doesn't end up mattering. And the rest of the match is pretty easy. I'm able to just take Mirabilis out with Reinhardt, and then Reinhardt's able to kill Legendary Ryoma as well.
Yes? Count for me.
And thank goodness for that, because I was not interested in doing another arena assault run. Because water season is just absolute hell. And I don't want to play it more than I have to. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.